Why do some women suddenly just all want the same type of man at the same exact time? And why do men suddenly just repeat the same talking points when it comes to red and black pill spaces? Is it biology or is it just a group thing? Today we're talking about the hive mind and how women tend to fall into it a little bit more, but men as well are sort of doing it. So we're going to confront it on both angles. We'll be fair, we'll confront it on both angles. When we say hive mind, we don't mean like all people can't think for themselves, but it's more that they conform to group think. They want like social validation and social proof. It's when your opinions and viewpoints are shaped more by the environment and the influence that others are having on you and a fear of peeing people off than your own way of thinking. And honestly, social media has amplified this more than ever before. So with the woman side of the group think, I do agree that women tend to be a little more in a hive mind mentality. Like if they're in a relationship and they share their partner with the others, the others might judge them, and if they judge them, it could influence them a little bit more, because when it comes to a woman, they want like that kind of like that validation in their friend group, and they don't want to feel ostracized more, it seems to me. To elaborate on the relationships, the hive mind can really make people have unrealistic standards. They'll ridicule the friend that is with someone who doesn't fit into society. But again, it could be something out of jealousy. I think we underestimate how envious people can be, because we think, well, what do they have to be envious about? But you never know. Maybe they're just envious that you are in a happy relationship. From anecdotally and what I've seen and what I've heard from people and what I've been experiencing, there's this more fear of judgment. Like growing up, I've always felt like it was more women that were judging me than guys. But I feel like guys didn't like me more, but not because of my way of thinking, but because of some personal issue, maybe things not going the way they want, whatever. But I've also felt, judged by women as well for the way I think, for the way I am, and this kind of assumption that I'm gonna be a certain way. I've had many girls tell me that they thought I was gonna be really rude and mean and like a bully based on like maybe first impression, and then I didn't end up being that way. But yeah, back to the hive mind or group think. It's more the fact that there's kind of this like collective, we all got to group together and we all have to think in this way, and it could be very damaging to relationships, because you guys even said it, sometimes you guys have had people you wanted to be with, and then the friends came and sabotaged and they ruined and they put things in their head. It went wrong, and that's not right. I think people can be doing that out of jealousy and insecurity as well. Not necessarily because they're looking out for you. Like if they're looking out for you, there's a different way to say things, and also if it's superficial, then it's not really their business. Approval really does matter, and it seems as though there's more cliques or cliques, whatever you want to say it. Like remember the cliques in high school and dorms, like in university and stuff like that. Like there's always this kind of clique, whereas I feel like guys are more welcoming and inviting to people, and they're not really like, they're more isolated around than they are in like these groups, which make it easier to like get along with them, I would say.
So a hive mind, so-called hive mind, right? What people like to throw around, especially with the female hive mind, is something that any close group has, right? When they have support and they can relate to that group that they're in. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be because you're the same gender or political backgrounds, and it really affects relationships between men and women, because that perception alone can shape how men attitude and behavior towards women is. I have fallen into some of those things because as you know, I've been on social media. I've talked to other men and they've put things in my head and got into my heads, overhearing women speak as well, and which can cause increased distrust, right? Men are in a hive mind. You begin to distrust women because you hear men saying they're going to cheat on you. They're looking for the next big thing, right? Men start to assume that women have shared hidden motives. He may interpret individual disagreements as some part of like collective agenda towards men.
If I can stop you for a second, I've also seen the same thing with women saying like all guys are a certain way, and I've seen that a lot growing up in person and online, which I know me
Yeah.
seeing that almost puts something in my head as well too, like E said.
Okay, what I'm saying is, right, it causes increased distrust. Men may assume that women have shared hidden motives. They may interpret an individual disagreement as part of a collective agenda. Men might struggle to, see women as individuals, as you see that's happening now. And I've been victim to that kind of mentality, where sometimes, I would think, are women this way? Are women that way? Do they think like maybe all men are a certain way when it comes to seeing certain things, you know. And this kind of thing, right? This kind of in-group thinking causes this psychological thing called out-group threat perception, right? Where any other group you see as uniform, right? This can trigger defensive behavior, reduce vulnerability. Your guard is up, your emotional guard is up in dating and friendships, and
Yeah.
that's what's literally happening to us men now. And I can attest to that, right? And this is all psychological mind effery, and that's what's going on. This is what happens within group thinking. You got symptoms. So that's the first symptom. The other symptom is you got a bias now. Now you have biases now, right?
And it doesn't mean we're downplaying the struggles that people have, and it's not these videos where, again, like I mentioned, we're downplaying people that have been constantly rejected and mistreated by, you know, a group of people. Well, again, we're not downplaying that. Try to see things in a more nuanced way, but you know, as usual, when you say something slightly different, you're attacked because there's this reward if you conform. So that's why people pick a tribe, and your thinking narrows when you try to pick tribes and just stick there without kind of going beyond the echo chamber. Sorry, continue.
I'm not trying to invalidate anybody's experiences because I've gone through the same thing you guys gone through. I was pretty much paranoid of how I thought women acted, or how our gender as men, we tend to also have this hive mind.
The real danger isn't men or women, it's losing individual discernment. Because if your opinions are constantly changing and your standards change every time your friends drop an opinion, your favorite YouTubers drop an opinion, a podcast comes out, then you're not actually sticking with your standards. You're being programmed. That's why it's important to have discernment and don't be influenced. I know it's easier said than done, but try not to be influenced by what other people are saying, because how do you know they have your best interest at heart? Maybe, like I said, they're trying to bring you down as well, because misery loves company and people don't want to see others elevated. Or like a lot of people that are insecure and unhappy with their lives don't want to see people rising up, growing, and they want to bring you down to their level. So they'll sabotage, right? They'll try to put things in your head about other people that are not true. People, they try to get into your heads to make you doubt by grabbing onto things you're insecure about. I'm not trying to go on a tangent about that, but it kind of has something to do with this, because it is about influencing other people because of hive mind and groupthink that want to bring other people down that are happy. But remember, guys, don't let this end group thinking reduce your empathy, because when individuals are seen as representatives of a collective rather than their own unique individual people, empathy drops, curiosity drops. This may cause you to not ever to open up vulnerably to somebody because of how you think they may act, and this can cause a self-fulfilling prophecy. Exactly. So, yeah, that is all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see more down below, and I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, guys. If you made it to this point of the video, I have a joke for you. My hands move too fast for my brain, and also, what does a bed and It's Simply Alessa's channel have in common? They're both slept on, so don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. God bless.